Marrow Creek was a tiny rural village hidden deep within the pine forests of northern Georgia. Fewer than 200 people lived there, and nearly all of them avoided the dirt road that led to the old Henderson House, a two-story wooden home rotting at the very edge of the village. Locals said the house was cursed. They said you could see lights moving inside at night, even though no one had lived there since 1978. They said no one who entered after dark came out the same. But 24-year-old Liam Dawson, an amateur filmmaker, didn't believe in curses. He came to Marrow Creek to record footage of supposedly haunted places for his YouTube channel. The Henderson House was his final destination. When he arrived just before sunset, the house looked even worse than the pictures online. The boards were warped, the windows were shattered, and the front door hung crooked on one hinge. Tall grass brushed against his legs as he walked up the creaking porch. His camera flickered the moment he pointed it at the house. Inside, the air was freezing, as if the house had never known warmth. Dust floated in the beams of his flashlight. The living room was still furnished, as if the family who once lived there had left in a hurry. A couch, a broken lamp, children's toys scattered across the floor. Something about the toys bothered him. They weren't covered in dust like everything else. He moved deeper into the house, noticing scratches on the walls, long, deep grooves that ran from ceiling to floor. They looked like claw marks, except they were too high to be from any animal. At 9:17 p.m., he heard the first noise. A soft tapping sound coming from upstairs. Tap, tap, tap. Probably just the wind, he whispered to himself, though the air was still and suffocating. He climbed the stairs slowly, each step groaning under his weight. At the top of the staircase was a long hallway with 3 doors on each side. The tapping grew louder, then stopped. Liam opened the last door on the right. Inside was a child's bedroom, perfectly untouched. Tiny bed, bookshelf, drawings pinned to the wall. One drawing caught his attention. A little girl standing beside a tall, shadowy figure with no face. Underneath it, written in shaky handwriting, "He lives in the walls." Liam stepped back, uneasy. That's when he heard whispering coming from behind the wall to his left. Soft, fast, urgent whispers. Too many voices at once. He pressed his ear closer. The whispering stopped instantly. The whole house went silent. Then, from the hallway, a slow creaking sound echoed. The door at the end of the hall, a door Liam swore had been open, was now closing by itself. He filmed it, trying to steady his shaking hand. "Hello?" He called out. No answer. He took a step toward the door, and it flew open. A figure stood inside the room, tall, bent, its joints contorted at impossible angles. Its skin seemed stretched, like wet paper pulled too tight. Its head was tilted downward, but its face looked wrong, hollow, like someone had carved out the features and replaced them with darkness. Liam stumbled back as the creature began to crawl toward him, limbs bending backwards, bones snapping with every movement. He ran. He sprinted down the stairs, the floorboards cracking under him. Something crawled across the ceiling above him, following his every step. He bolted for the front door, but the door slammed shut before he reached it. Trapped, he ran into the kitchen, searching for another exit, but the windows were boarded from the outside. His flashlight flickered. The whispers returned, this time all around him. Then he saw them. Dozens of shadow-like figures standing in every corner of the room, barely visible, each with hollow eyes, each whispering in overlapping voices. Their shapes shifted like smoke leaning toward him. At the center of them stood the tall creature from upstairs. Its head tilted as if it were studying him. Then, in a voice that sounded like wind passing through a corpse, it whispered, "You finally came home." Liam backed up, but his foot caught on something. He looked down, a small, dust-covered toy. The same toy from the child's bedroom, but now it was at his feet. He grabbed his camera and ran for the basement door, the only place he hadn't checked. The moment he stepped inside, the door slammed behind him, locking him in total darkness. He flicked his light back on. The basement was filled with drawings, hundreds of them plastered on the walls. Drawings of the Henderson family. Drawings of the shadow figure, drawings of the little girl. And on one wall, written in red, "He keeps what enters." Footsteps approached behind him, slow, deliberate. He turned the camera around. The tall shadow stood inches from his face. His camera dropped to the floor. The recording continued for 12 more minutes. Only the sound of whispering voices getting louder and louder. Then complete silence. Liam's car was found 2 days later on the side of the road. His camera was discovered on the porch of the house. But Liam himself, never found. Locals say the Henderson house still makes tapping sounds at night. Some swear they hear a new voice whispering inside the walls. A voice that sounds exactly like Liam,